The Fabulous Tale of Fish and Chips, written by Helaine Becker. Joseph Malin loved fish. He loved catching fish from the sea. He loved selling fish in his family shop, and most of all, Joseph loved eating fish. His grandmother had taught him how to cook fish to make it extra tasty. She used a special recipe handed down from her grandmother and her great-grandmother before her. First, she cut up the fish and coated the fillets in flour. Then, she dipped the fillets in a bowl of beaten egg. Next, she quickly dunked them all in a dish of matzo meal. Finally, it was time to fry the fish in hot oil. It smelled delicious as it sizzled in the pan. Joseph's grandma told him the secret of this scrumptious recipe. It's the crispy crust that makes the fish so delicious, and that's why it still tastes good when we eat it cold on the Sabbath. Eating fish was one thing, that was easy, but selling it was hard. Although everyone in Joseph's family worked in their shop from dawn till dusk, they still made hardly any money. Joseph couldn't even replace his worn-out shoes. Something had to be done. One evening, as the smell of his grandma's fried fish wafted through the house, Joseph had a bright idea. What if we were to sell our fresh fish after it's cooked? We could use your secret recipe, Grandma, he suggested. What a marvelous idea, she said. The next morning, Joseph's grandma fried enough fish to fill a few trays. He carried the cooked fish to the marketplace. Fresh from the ships, hot and tasty fried fish, Joseph shouted. At first, just a few curious customers tried Joseph's fish. But word soon spread, and before long, people were coming from far and wide to try it. Yum, they whooped. Scrumptious, galumptious. Soon, shiny coins began to pile up in the family till. Now we can finally afford to replace your worn-out shoes, Joseph's mother said. Joseph's shoes were new, but now he was worn out. He needed help. So everyone pitched in. His grandma even bought him a new pushcart to take the fish to the market. Joseph's family was delighted with his success, but not everyone was happy. Annette, their neighbor, was upset. All her customers were rushing past her vegetable stall and buying Joseph's fried fish instead. What would happen if no one bought her potatoes anymore? Something had to be done. That fish does smell awfully good, she muttered to herself. Then she had her own bright idea. If Joseph can sell fried fish, why can't I sell fried potatoes? The next morning, Annette cut up some potatoes. She tossed them in hot oil until they were golden brown and crunchy crisp, the way her own grandmother had taught her. She made cones out of newspaper, filled them with chips, and started selling them to passers-by. Piping hot chips, they're crisp and delicious, even better than fish, she trilled. Soon Joseph's customers were scurrying past him to try Annette's fried potatoes. Yum, they whooped, savory, flavory. Joseph fumed. How dare Annette spoil his new business? What if all his hard work was for nothing? Something had to be done. He bellowed even more loudly. Hot, crispy fried fish, come try my great dish of hot, crispy fried fish. They continued shouting, not looking where they were going until disaster! Chips flipped, fish flew. Look what you made me do, shouted Annette. Look what you made me do, shouted Joseph. While Joseph and Annette argued, a crowd gathered. They helped themselves to both the fish and chips. Scrumptious and galumptious, savory and flavory. Joseph and Annette eventually stopped arguing and looked at the crowd of delighted people around them. Then they had a fabulous idea. The next morning, both their voices rang out in perfect harmony. Fish and chips and fish, such a crispy, tasty dish. And that's the story of how fish and chips, one of the greatest and most popular dishes of all time, was born. And what a fantastic pairing it was.